That sounds like Kanye West.
Fucking A. Voice of God over here.
You are deliberately forgetting who you really are. You are deliberately forgetting who you really are.
Fucking episode number 4/17, 18, whatever. Here we go. Did you guys get anything to drink or what? You want me to tell you about what I'm doing?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You want to tell you what I'm doing? Doing some hornitos.
Let's do it.
Some tequila.
Okay.
With some Topo Chico, I believe is how. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Huh.
Tony.
Topo
What do you
Chico.
think?
Topo Chico.
Topo Chico.
Does it taste
Maybe
like
Topo
a
Chico.
soul?
Maybe
like
I'm
a
saying
soul or a
I
Dos
think I was
Equis?
saying top but yeah, it's Topo Chico. Just some lemon lime spritzer water, man. Bubbly water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Super
I thought you were
tasty.
drinking some beer.
No. I decided not to
I'm
be
go-
a pussy
I'm
tonight.
going PBR and a little 1800.
Like I said, a PBR. Buddy, slacking. What is that in the other hand?
That's a little 1800.
Ooh.
Little tequila. You said tequila, yes. I decided I would follow in your
Yes,
steps
baby.
a little bit. Tequila it is.
Yeah. Paul Wall, what
There
are you
it
doing?
is. Well, finished off that Jack, so feeling pretty good. I got this
So you
this
got your
beer right now, a
remnants?
little Coors Light. I got the 1800 in there. If you want me to run in and fill one up, I have a bottle of 1800 in there.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're in the 1800s or what?
I'm gonna let Tony do the 1800 in the past. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that.
I'll
for
take
tonight,
one for
so.
you. I'll
All
take
right,
one
let's
for
cheers.
you.
Uh-oh, there he goes. All right, let's cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah,
boys.
buddy.
Cheers.
Ugh. Whew.
Yeah, I got to do the lime and the, I got to whisk it up.
Nothing
what's
makes
in
it
my
any
glass,
better for me,
but-
man. It always tastes horrible.
It's all good.
How's everything been?
It's all good.
You guys doing good? You guys doing good?
Doing fantastic, man.
I've been doing pretty good, man. I just, Arizona here, we went from 97 degrees to 60, like overnight.
Yeah.
Got this wind coming through and makes my voice all scratchy. But dude, enjoying the weather. Been out taking the bike rides, getting outside. It finally feels like a normal world, where it's not 110 out. So yeah, I've been digging it. It probably feels like Hawaii, right, T?
I'd say a little better than Hawaii right now, man. You guys got that nice, cool weather. I miss that.
It's just still
Is it humid?
sun blazing out there or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it stays 70 to 80 degrees most of the year.
It's just the
on
same
the west side of the island, we get up to the 90s or so, but
Yeah.
no, yeah, it ain't a lot
70,
different, man.
80.
It's weird that how there's no you know what I mean? You live in Seattle, everybody's that's the suicide capital of the United States, and everybody's the smart people are no, it's not. Nevada is, or whatever. They'll actually call things, and they'll be Seattle's had the most rain out of every state, and at most, if you actually look into it, people are no, that's actually not true at all, But there's a lot of stigmas about depression and not seeing the
I've
sun
heard
as
those.
much. I wonder, I wonder if there is any weird thing with too much sun, not having dark day, not having gloomy days. I mean, I know there's rain and it gets stormy, but
I don't know. According to Joe Rogan, vitamin D is very, very important. So obviously the sunshine does something for you, right?
fucking vitamin
Dude,
D.
if that's suicide, sign me the fuck up, right? I mean, if I can lay out on
Send
that
me
beach
there.
and just relax and just chill, listen, sign me. I'm ready to go there right now. If that's what we're talking about.
Paul, we gotta plan a trip out
that'll
there,
be
man.
taken out of context, probably.
Yeah.
That'll get around.
Sign me up for
Someone will cut that out.
suicide. That's gonna be the,
Yeah.
the
This
snippet.
dude's ready to die. He's in this Hurry Up and Die podcast. Dude, it was funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Let
The
me
Hurry Up
tell you.
and
Let
Die
me tell you
podcast
this real
is
quick.
now hurrying
Let me
up and die.
Let me tell you this real quick. This was funny because I accidentally, like when we were bullshitting, this will get back to why we're on episode whatever 4/17. But when I was doing the YouTubes today, right, and I was uploading them, I accidentally sent that screenshot to another thread, that I was doing with some buddies,
no.
some other buddies I did that Funny Bone project with,
Oh no.
They're like, and I was like, sorry, wrong peeps, or whatever. And then they're like, what's this hurry up and die? We thought you were working on some kind of project where, Kevorkian and like people, killing people or something, what I mean? They were just bullshit, what I mean? But it was funny when they came across, they're like, what the fuck is that, right? Hurry up and die, you know what I mean? So that was funny when I said that'll be taken out of context with the suicide piece. Immediately when someone said that, I said, didn't you ever play video games? And someone said, hurry up and die, and then, it kind of finally clicked. But, yeah, so why is this episode 4? This is episode 4?
Oh, no.
Hedrick, would you like to explain that?
Yeah, I believe we got sabotaged a little bit. I believe that would be the best word. Leave it at that. Got sabotaged a little bit. Passwords were, taken over.
You guys ganged up on the wrong guy for far too long, huh?
Feelings were hurt for sure in a big way. But yeah, here we are.
I just
Well,
you know.
sad
Let's
yet
start
happy.
this over.
Miss you, Keith, but glad I get to sit here and talk instead of you. Sorry, buddy.
And I did have to put in a lot of work last night. That could have just been solved by some simple communication. I had to redo a lot of work. So all I'm saying is, how about we learn to talk, right? That's all I'm saying. But we won't. So All right, are we gonna move on? Does that sound good, or what are we doing? How long are we gonna put up with it? Do this.
We can leave that alone.
So
Let's do it. Yeah.
I finally realized in my Google Home setup at the house, so it's like my Nest camera, my light bulbs, which I get because more times than not, I leave the house and I don't leave the lights on for the dogs, and they'll be like sitting in the pitch dark for 5 hours or so, and I feel like a piece of shit, which I'm sure it's not even that big deal because they're sleeping. But through my Google Home, my Google speaker is hooked up that my brother, that Paul gave me. But I just realized I could like name my lights. So when I'm talking to Google, I can be like, hey, can you turn, Google always wants to call things by its name. So when I say, hey, can you turn the light to 25%? Of course, Miss Google, she has to say, the name of the light is going to be turned to 25%. So, I think most people, would have registered in there, the living room light is set to 25%. So of course I noticed that was something you could change. I was like, oh, hell no. So I got in there, and of course the first thing I was, I wrote in, fuck it all. FUCK space IT space ALL. And
There you go.
That's what you were talking about with your light name. I was like, what is this light name he's talking about? Is this like a video game thing? Is this something cooler that I just don't know about?
Yeah. So just something stupid I was doing, kind of drunk or whatever. But it bleeped. It knew the recognition, and it bleeped out. So it said bleep it all. Light is set to 25%. I was like, oh my god, too fucking funny. So I changed it to FUK space IT space ILL or ALL. And of course it was like turning fuck it all to 25%. I was like, yes. So
what you're saying is you're almost 40 years old and you just realize Google's smarter than you. A machine, a robot. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It taught him it taught him the name of his own lights,
Or just learning poop and pee humor from the extremely smart, or overly smart device. Man. Just being silly, having fun, Too much, man. Paul, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
that video that you sent with you dancing.
Yeah, you liked it?
Man, I came home
That was my
from
celebration
work.
video.
I came home from work after watching that video,
Yeah.
and I was like, Lolo, sit down. Wife, sit down. I go, I've got something to show you. You know, flipped over to the Apple, you know, through the screen mirroring on.
Oh, you put me up on the big screen. I see how you are. I'm
Oh,
half
I
naked,
threw you
yeah.
up on the 65-inch, dog, above the fireplace. Lolo, the wife, was just
She was
laughing at you. Man,
why I
she
sent
was
it to
like,
you guys.
I've never seen Paul like this. She's like, you know,
I was
like,
pretty happy.
it was just, you know.
Was this
it
that
one of
was the
those
dance
things that-
when Biden got elected? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
this was just like, you know,
It was a happy
and it
dance.
was funny because I didn't start the dance. If you watch the video, I think Head thought it was like I think we planned it. It was like one of those American.
I
Oh,
could
I
tell
thought
that
you
you were.
thought-
I could tell that you were trying to copy the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With like
Yeah,
you would do like the 1/4 cartwheel against the beanbag
Yeah.
or whatever. You know.
Yeah,
Like it was just great.
Yeah.
You know.
And
I
that's
don't
where
know.
I
It was
thought
so
I thought
funny.
Head
The
thought it
spinning
was,
around on
you
your
know.
butt. Just great.
Yeah, you know, like, you know, that, you know, we've been just trying to have a good time and get through all this shit and stuff. But yeah, we had a fun time, and the boys, I tell you, that little Liam, he loves dancing, as you can see. He runs
Yeah.
around, he hits those cymbals. I mean, he hits a cymbal, you know, as he goes around. You know, we have a drum set up in the living room, and then he comes around, and so yeah, man, you know, it was just it was a good time, and I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. But what's funny, man, is when I watch it back, all I see is you. Do you know what I mean? Like, we look.
I'm guessing
Right,
that's why
Pete?
Lolo was probably laughing. You know what I mean?
we
She
have the-
probably
we-
saw,
we have
like,
the
oh my
same-
God,
we
you
have the
guys-
same-
You motherfuckers are exactly the same.
We have the
All
same
awkward and
mannerisms.
shit, don't know how to dance.
We have this. We have the same body shape. We have like no ass, a huge belt, a huge beer gut. Like we're the T, right? But
And
we're
a
just,
belly
like,
and
literally,
titties.
Oh my gosh! If you put tattoos all over my body, that would have been a video of Head dancing. I mean, you know what I mean? That's what's so funny about it.
So as soon as I got home and we watched it, I was like, man, I totally want to put my Speedo on and like try to recreate this in some kind of
replicate
way,
it,
you
yeah.
know? And Lolo's
I
like,
don't know.
can I be in it? I was like, yes, you could definitely be in it. We gotta
Well,
do
you'll
it.
have to.
But
Maybe, yeah,
man,
you'll
that
have
just
to
like
top us
cracked
one
me
up,
up.
so.
But
Good.
so yeah,
I'm
that
glad it
came
made your
on.
night.
That came on the day. That came on the final. The final.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you can call it the final decision of the
Whatever.
election. Who
Whatever.
fucking knows?
Yeah.
Who even knows if it's
I know.
over or whatever?
I
But
don't even care.
When
Yeah.
everything was like, what do you? I don't know what do you call
It's
it.
the
When things-
Associated Press that announces it, and yeah, they announced it.
Kind of like the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
when
final
they announced
word.
It,
It's like,
official.
hey, motherfucker, it's time. You know. But yeah, I was going to work in Hillcrest in California, and I'd sent some videos to you guys about, you know, just people just partying in the streets, honking their horns just constantly. Literally, I got there and people were like, man, the horns honking has been going on since, you know, the one guy I worked with was like, man, it woke me up this morning, you know? And then from another person, I hear it's 11 a.m. that it started, you know? So it's like, I guess the dude slept in a little bit, but, you know. It started, I guess, around 11 a.m. and motherfucker, they were honking. There was always a horn honking
Is this same out here?
in sight, you know, in hearing sight. What is it? Hearing range?
They were doing
in
like
hearing
big
range.
car trains pretty much down the freeway. Then they go down to downtown into Waikiki, and out here you get two caravans that go through because you got the Trump ones that go through. You know, they're all bummed up and pissed off that Trump didn't win. But then you also got the not even really Biden people, but the other side of it that are just like fuck you Trump
Happy,
people,
no Trump.
and like
Yeah.
they follow in their caravan behind them.
So
it's
weird.
yeah, it's one after the other. They like to block the freeways actually out here. They'll kind of get on the freeway 40, 50 cars deep and block out the lanes and drive super slow down the highway and block up traffic. I don't know why they think that's going to make somebody vote in their way. I don't know what it is that they're trying to say.
Seems like
you
it just
know,
piss
but-
people off.
Yeah, I've seen some of the Hawaiian protests out here like that, and I guess I can get that a little bit more. They're trying to stand up for
They want
something as far
attention.
as their ways, but when you see a bunch of dudes that Trump just lost and they're still blocking the freeway, it's like, are you just being a sore loser? Are you just sad? Like, come on, man. Come on.
Tony, did you see the Trump hotline, the voter fraud hotline number set up? I put the link in the Google Doc, dude. So they set this thing up, and that's fine, whatever. We'll look for it. I mean, there's obviously going to be some ballots that aren't going to be creditable, right? I mean, that's just how it's going to go. But they set this hotline up, and so, of course, immediately, every comedian in America, every person that wants to mock Trump, you're just asking for an invite at that point. And this dude calls up, and it's the funniest thing. You can look this up on Twitter, but he says, yeah, I think I see this dude. He's going inside. He's got a black hat. He's got a white and black shirt. He's got a red tie, and he's got hamburgers in his bag. I think he's screaming Ronald McDonald. I think he's a burglar. And like, there's just like thousands of these, about the Hamburglar coming in, stealing the ballots. And I just thought,
how funny.
I showed Jessica this, and she's just like, and I agree with her. She's like, those poor people that have to take those phone calls. Yeah. You know what I mean? Imagine those poor people. They probably are just looking for a job right now, right? Yeah. And they've got to take a job where the Hamburglar is stealing the ballots, And I just thought to myself, once again, I feel like I'm, the same thing with the honking, right? It just goes along with the craziness,
Hamburglar.
We still can't move on to Hamburglar. It was so funny. I mean, it was one of the funniest ones, but there was a lot of them. I just, and I don't want to get too far into the election. I don't thank God. I mean, we have something where we're going to maybe think of something different. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'll say about the election.
Let's hope that we get some changes. I'm down for that. Like, I think we could all use some changes.
And the COVID thing's getting like worse than ever, right?
Oh my God!
Seems
well,
like
dude,
it.
you tell me. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna close your shit down again. Nobody's gonna have any jobs anymore.
I don't know if
right?
I don't know if people. I honestly, man, I don't know if people are gonna close down this time.
I don't know if they're gonna shut down business as much.
No, I'm saying I don't think they're gonna listen to any suggestion about closing down, and they're gonna stay open. I have a feeling.
I mean, then we're just, we're in a whole different discussion at that point,
Yeah.
I don't know if they will. I mean, out here they have talk of stepping backwards if it increases, but I don't think they're going to close down business because the economy's been so fucked up from all this. They're scared to close it again.
I agree. And listen, I don't even care. Yeah, go ahead.
And they've already started closing stuff out there. So traveling between countries and stuff like that, unless it's on business, you can't. They've got curfews in effect. They've got a few things they've actually put in. But I don't believe they're going to close small business over there because, again, their economy as well has been so devastated over the last year. So,
is there no travel to the UK right now? Are they not letting people come in over there into the UK?
No, I don't believe
They're not
so.
letting people come in?
I believe unless you're traveling on business, you're pretty much blocked out.
Yeah.
And there's probably going to be some kind of quarantine factors involved. Again, even still out here in Hawaii, if you don't have a negative COVID test within 72 hours, you're expected to quarantine for 14 days. And that 14-day quarantine used to be, it was locked in. It didn't matter what you had. You came to Hawaii, you were quarantined 14 days.
Do they have people set up over there if someone was to fly in, right? Do they have someone that makes sure that takes place? How do we govern
they literally have a
this?
whole screening as you come off the plane and then go into
to
Hawaii. You have to have a test. Now, they do tracking. They say that they're tracking people as they're on the island. I've seen so many people that are just, they don't care. You know what I mean? They get on an island and they're like, fuck it, I'm going out. But I guess the fear behind that is if you do get caught, it's something like a $5,000 fine. I mean, it's not a small fine by any means.
Sure.
But I think it's hard for them to really track people.
Yeah. Well, how do you? How do you take care of everybody in the world, right?
Exactly.
Basically, unless you go beat up a security guard in the Aria casino and get caught by the police, will they ever know that you are in fact, that place, breaking the rule of the quarantine type of situation?
I think the only issues they're running into is like, for example, when somebody comes into our store, we do a screening. So there's literally a COVID screen that we go through before we even service them. If they don't have any proof of a COVID test and they just got on the island, we deny them service. So it's like, a lot of the businesses are falling in line with, we're just trying to follow what everybody thinks is best, whether we agree or disagree. You know what I mean? This is what the majority thinks is best. We'll fall in suit. We want to keep everybody safe, make everybody feel like they're safe. Yeah. But it's tough,
If you don't get off the plane and you don't do the quarantine, they take you out to that beach in the last episode. And they just leave you there. They leave you there.
And let the Hawaiians take care of you.
And then those locals show up at the sun setting, and you're just out there chained to the ground. And then you're never seen from again, right, Tony?
Oh, too good, man.
That's what happens, right, Tony? That's
you
it's
wash
just a
out
skeleton.
to Gilligan's Island.
Haven't you ever been on the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean? Haven't you seen that guy that's chained up or whatever on the sand?
Tony's the motherfucker with the dog leash. Holding
Exactly. He's out there staking. Tony's one of those people like in The Walking Dead that he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want it to be himself, so he's gonna sacrifice that motherfucker. He's chaining him up, leaving him for the dead to eat alive.
I will not be the slowest.
I will force you to be slower than me.
I mean, that
brother,
brings
how
me
do we
back to
get
the
out of
Arya
this?
story again. I mean, when we were running from
Yeah.
the security guards, I'm pretty sure that I pushed you.
That
think
needs
so,
to
too.
be
Take
that
him.
we
Take
can't even get into that. I kind of feel like that needs to be
I
its
think we
own
tripped
episode.
over each other. Let's
Yeah.
just leave it at that.
Yeah. Let's
I
leave
fucked
it
up
at
the
that
photo
needs to be
shoot. We're
episode
even.
5. Let's leave it at that needs to be a whole episode. We're not even going to get into this because it's too weird to jump right into the middle of it. You know, we got to ask I have a lot of questions about that I've never, still to this day, been told.
The
You know,
Arya
from either
thing
of you
was
guys.
pretty weird, man.
You know,
It was
I know,
just,
that's what I'm saying.
something so silly, but
Yeah,
in
it turned
retrospect,
into-
when you have a fight in a casino
Yeah.
and
People don't like
you
it.
try to flee and you run away,
Yeah.
and then you realize we live upstairs in the 32nd floor of the same place, and there's cameras everywhere. You're not really running from anything, but for some reason, when we're fucked up and when I might have like called somebody out on talking shit and like other people got involved, that I'm just not used to people that fight and punch people. You know,
Yeah.
My bad.
I need to watch my mouth.
Yeah.
I guess.
Hey,
I don't know.
So what
I
you're
guess
saying
it could
is
go a lot of
lesson learned?
You could blame it on a lot of different things, but when you run from a place in a casino and you live upstairs, they're gonna take the elevator upstairs and come
That's
and
where we
find
went
you
wrong.
because they know you live there.
We shouldn't have ran.
Yeah.
And we knew that.
Should've just
we
sat
knew that
there.
after. Once we got to our room, it was like a. Oh,
So
fuck.
like
We
I
fucked
said,
up.
lesson learned, right? We all learned, right?
Well, when we met with our lawyers, we realized a lot of things that we should have done differently. Tony informed us that our lawyers said that we should have handled things very differently.
So listen,
bad
before
scenario.
listen, before this podcast, I got a picture. Header was drinking honey out of a cup. It was like he sent me a video and it
felt
was
like
like he
honey.
tipped the cup back and it looked like Pooh Bear drinking from that jug. You know, where he has no pants on and just a
Honey from a
t-shirt,
jar?
which that actually would be Head if he had no pants on with just a shirt. That is Pooh Bear. I mean, he's
Big old
drinking
belly
that
hanging
honey.
over, sucking down
And
honey.
he's so what was that? That was this crazy. That was the thickest. I was like, that's got to be super thick. That's got to be some kind of like liqueur. So what was that?
You want me to blow your mind?
Yes,
That was a shot of Jameson. That's all.
it was. That was it.
Yeah, it was just a weird.
It was an
a
optical
weird
illusion.
glass. So it like looked, you know, it morphed it. It morphed it a little bit. It made it look all weird about it. I don't know.
Listen, I don't know anything about whiskey. I don't know anything about what's good, what's bad. You know.
You know, we used to back to the Veer Tower, that same place where
Oh,
we got in
man.
trouble at.
So fucking good. So
whiskey.
fucking good.
Whiskey was
Yeah,
always something we
Tony,
used to talk
tell 'em.
about. Getting the good whiskey, getting the bad whiskey. People always wanted the good whiskey because they know their whiskeys and they want to drink it. Well, we had a debate one night if people really actually know what the hell they're drinking and if they know if whiskey's good or not. So we went to the store and we got some of that. What was it, just like black velvet, cheapest shit they have at
Yeah,
at
it was a
Walmart.
plastic. It was a plastic like 42 ounce plastic bottle, like the
Sick. Yeah,
Walmart
that's sick.
cheapest whiskey that you
Yeah.
could buy.
Dirty
then
water. Dirty
We
shitty water.
refilled those into the Crown Royal, the Maker's Mark, pretty much all the other bottles we had that were the higher end per se whiskeys.
Yeah,
and filled those
yeah.
up with that shitty whiskey. Nobody in a year of doing that ever fucking knew the difference. Nobody.
I
Even the
believe
people
it.
that were
I
like,
believe
I'm
it.
such a big whiskey drinker. I love my whiskeys.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
better than that one.
Yeah.
It's the same whiskey, dude, and it's shitty.
Yeah. Yep.
I-
And a lot of them were like,
Yeah.
this here, this is good whiskey. You know, like if they just had one or something, like, yeah, just want to let you guys know, this here, this is good whiskey, just so you guys know. And both Tony and I would both look at each other and be like, oh my fucking God, they're drinking $12 a gallon whiskey from Walmart that we
And
bought at
loving
5
it.
in the morning, fucked up.
So maybe that bad whiskey is the good whiskey. Maybe that's
Right?
what you're saying. Maybe the cheap stuff is the best stuff. You know. Now, how do you feel the next day? That's the question. Yeah.
I'm sure terrible. Everybody felt terrible.
Exactly. When you're drinking that much, it doesn't even matter, right? At that point.
I brought that tradition home to San Diego, and I put like shitty whiskey in like in a Blanton's bottle. You know what I mean? So like some like expensive ass shit. And still, even my buddy Johnny Blaze, oh man, he took that Blanton shot. He goes, Blanton's is the best. It's the best. You know what I mean? I was like, Dog, that's not even
I love Blaze. I
Blanton's.
love
I go, it's
Johnny,
just
yeah.
something cheap. It was just something to make the bottle look cool. Just so funny, man. I would do it too.
I
I
love
would
that
probably
Blaze.
fall for it too. I don't know. Too good.
Yeah, I think most people would, man. There's obviously got to be some
Yeah.
people that can really tell their whiskeys, but for the
Oh,
most part, I
sure.
think people are full of shit. Everybody wants to be
Right.
the wine taster or the whiskey taster. I think it all
They say
tastes
that
evenly
they
like
say
shit.
that Patron is the same way. They say that Patron's like some of the dirtiest tequila. You know what I mean? You overpay for it, you know, and they say you might as well just buy that shitty bottle down below.
Right.
Instead of getting it out of the spam, you know, cabinet or whatever, you know. Leave that shit in there with
The
the
lock up
spam,
with
right?
the spam.
We're gonna get some shit for that spam. That was you that said that. I hope. Anybody
Hey, man.
on the beach over there? Tony's the one that said that shit about the spam.
Yeah,
that
all
wasn't
locals.
me. So.
All those guys
That
that
wasn't
Tony
me.
was
That
talking
wasn't
about.
me.
I think everybody would just be like, no, yeah, spam's the shit.
What we gotta do is contact Spam about a sponsorship.
There you go.
They're gonna be our new commercial read.
There we go.
Hurry Up and Die would like to introduce our second sponsor, Spam. We love Hawaiians. Hawaiians love us. You know, don't get beat up on a beach in Hawaii. Eat Spam.
I don't think they're falling for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We can work on it. I can work on it. I can make it sound better.
There's got to be some kind of history behind it. I mean, honestly, whether it was like World War II or whatever it was easy access to that type of canned food, whatnot. It had to have been something that was provided
Yeah,
out here at one
of
point
course,
that
yeah.
people got used to. And that's why it's so in their foods, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen Spam popular like it is out here. You know, it's just a couple cans in the aisle at the grocery store, not a whole section. Locked up.
Dude, and listen, that's the part that once again where, you know, my bitching about this world, but you know, that's what I told my kids the other night. You know, we're sitting down. I sent you guys that picture. I made that steak thing from Costco, mashed potatoes, broccoli. I mean, you might as well be up in the fucking Hyatt up on the 37th floor, and you know, and at the end of the day, like, you know, like they won't eat it. They won't eat it, you know, and that's what I'm trying to explain. Like,
What?
man, could you imagine, like you said, back in the war days, back, you know, the
Right.
shit that these people had to eat? I'm like, fucking eat that food. This is craziness, you know? I think it's crazy.
We're in a spoiled times right now, man. Life is pretty cush for a good majority of people. You know, not everybody, but
It's fucking wild, man. Yeah. I mean, we're all kind of like spoiled. So, you know, working at the new place that I've been working at, I started noticing these people that brought through these little tiny chocolates. And I think I was telling you about them. But more or less, they're, I don't know, I mean, it definitely is like a quarter of the size of your palm.
is
It's
it the
bigger
chocolate
than
you
a-
were trying to show me the other night that Lolo dropped on
Yeah.
the ground that got dog hair all over it that you still ate?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
one.
the
Okay.
expensive one that I ruined. Yeah. I would guess. I would say it's about it's half of a king size Snickers bar. You know, so it's like thicker than a normal like small candy bar, but it's tiny and short, and it's small, and it's $4. It's $3.99. And these people just kept buying them and buying them and buying them and buying them. And I think the first time I rung one up, I was like, there must be something wrong. This little tiny candy bar is $4. You know what I mean? Like, did I ring it up 4 times? You know? Did I ring up a steak instead? You know? No. It was the price of the little tiny miniature candy bar. So, of course, you can't have people buying something ridiculous and me not be like, I'm interested. And if you're talking just like $4 to waste on a little tiny, like 2-3 bites of chocolate, I'm fucking in. Like a fucking 1,000,000%. I'm fucking gonna buy one of those fucking things. So, of course, over the last like 2 or 3 weeks, there's 4 flavors. We've had all of them, you know. Actually, the 4th flavor was like with dark chocolate. I gave it to somebody. Yeah,
that's my favorite.
I'm not a dark. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't like white
chocolate.
chocolate. I don't like white chocolate. That's what I don't like. Yeah.
That's why
It's
I'd
just
always
dark
eat your
chocolate.
fucking Easter
I
bunnies.
don't know why
man.
dark chocolate even exists. It just ruins chocolate.
Oh.
Yeah, fucking gross. Fucking Paul's weird. But yeah, so man, I had to fucking try these chocolates. The name of the company is, once again, it's so fancy. I don't even fucking know how to fucking pronounce
Okay,
it.
what is it?
It's called Lake Champlain.
Huh.
Like Champagne. That's the way you would say it if you're a moron, you know. If you're a substitute teacher, you know, for a local high school.
Was it good? I mean, was it worth $4? Is it good though? You know?
I've bought about 8 of these things so far. They're so fucking good, dude. It's ridiculous. I even brought it home to my. I love my wife. She does everything.
Yeah.
She kills it.
Yeah.
I brought that home. She's a fucking cheapskate. She is such a fucking cheapskate, man.
Yeah.
If you fucking leave the lights on too long, you know, she's like, turn that light off. Don't use that, you know. But she tasted this $4 miniature candy bar, and she was like, that fucking thing is good. You know, like, even she was like, that is fucking worth fucking $4. That is fucking amazing in my mouth. But, yeah, man, it's just one of those companies. I don't know exactly what it is that makes it a $4.
It is chocolate, right? It's not like fake vegan chocolate or anything like that. It's chocolate. It's milk chocolate, right?
It is a mixture. Yeah, they have mixtures of dark chocolate and milk chocolate. They have stuff with caramel, with hazelnut. They have one with peanuts inside, and then they have a granola one that's mostly dark chocolate. That's the one
I can tell you've explored these thoroughly so far.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's what I'm saying. It's just one of those things that when, like, you find something that, like, if you brand it well, here it is right here. I have one.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't know if you brand it well, Header. I think, like, if it tastes awesome, I think you can tell the difference between chocolate. I think you like it. I think you like that taste, and you're like, I gotta have more of this.
It's a perfect
Look how thick
package. It's a perfect package design. It's a golden foil with a little, like, cute wrapping. It's a tiny logo. I love it. You don't have Hershey's
They sold you.
written across the whole fucking bar.
Tony,
Look
you
how
remember?
fucking-
Tony, you know what it is? Is remember when you would have to sell chocolate for school,
That's what
right?
that looks like
and
to
it's
me too.
and it's wrapped in that silver thing,
Yes.
right? And you're like, oh shit, I could have one of these, right? I mean, what's one? I got to pay for it, right? Like, and then you eat one. Next thing you know, you're on fucking 12, and you got to sell 20, and you've eaten more than half, right?
Little
Like
cardboard
that's in the
boxes.
cell. And that's what I was going to say, Tony, is I think we've had this discussion via text, but I'm saying it on the podcast. Head at Easter, we would get up, and at 8:30 in the morning, he would eat his chocolate bunny. My fucking chocolate bunny had already been gone at 7 a.m., right? And so what I'm saying is he likes his chocolate, and that's good chocolate. I bet that's some good tasting chocolate. That's why it's good. And there is a difference.
But
Right.
Paul, I guess what I'm saying is, I'll be honest with you, you know, being a bigger guy, I've obviously grown up and been aware of, like, all right, I can't eat that kind of stuff all the time, you know. And of course, I still battle with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Of
if
course,
I'm
who
at the
doesn't?
Circle
Yeah,
K
who
doing
does?
anything,
Look.
I might grab a Snickers. Paul has M&Ms.
I'm
in
eating
front of him
M&Ms right now.
as he's talking
I have
shit
M&Ms
about me.
right in front of
Oh,
me.
you motherfucker!
I have M&Ms right. I peed on M&Ms, right? I just went and got them. I went and got my drink.
But yeah, sometimes I can't deny, you know what I mean? Deny grabbing a chocolate bar. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
like that. But like, I do consciously know, like, man, I can't be having a lot of that stuff. But I'm wondering if that's
It's
like
hard.
what the draw is to making a $4. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the size of my hand. It stretches across maybe 2 to 3 fingers. Like,
It's like half a chocolate bar.
is there? But for like a fancy person, is there some kind of draw to that? Like, ooh, I can just have a small portion. That's my whole candy bar, and I'm gonna spend $4, and it's gonna be amazing. Like, I don't know. That it's fucking awesome either way. But the sad thing is I'll buy 3 of these motherfuckers and have the full size of a regular candy bar.
He's eating $20 of chocolate a night.
Yes. Well, today was $12. I bought 3 of them, $12.
Oh, brother.
Funny, man.
These M&Ms were 69 cents, by the way, and they're really good.
Right?
I'm making negative money. I'm losing money working where I'm at. Fucking too good.
All right, well, we're 40 minutes in. We better start talking about what we've been watching, because that's all we've been doing, right?
Dude, I've been doing a couple things. Tony, tell us what you've been doing.
I've been trying to catch up on the movies you guys have been talking about. I did watch that American Werewolf in London, which was
I
pretty
watched that
fucking
shit.
awesome.
I
Wow.
rewatched.
You went back? I was going to say, I felt bad because I was like, I didn't even go back and watch this. I didn't really talk about it. So you liked it?
Yeah, I loved it. It was rad. Rad older movie. Like you said, the transformation scene, and considering when that was made and what they did, that was rad.
Yeah.
You know, it was really cool.
Even it running through, London and, back then, I don't even know how they did all that stuff. It's crazy.
Right?
And so, I mean,
They-
that's just an old school one that you got to give up to the, to the makeup people and all that, and which don't exist anymore. You got to think of all those people that lost their jobs, right? I mean, that shit doesn't
Exactly.
even
That would have
exist,
been
so-
all CG these days. You know, even
But it was
watching it
fun.
and seeing some of the scenes, you
Yeah.
can tell, like, during this scene, they'd probably have a fake werewolf crawling up the wall and
Yeah.
shit these days.
Yeah.
Older movie, it was cool, funny stuff in it.
And I liked even the comedy part of it. It was like his friend bugging him all the time, and
Yeah,
just
right.
that,
Right.
bringing a little bit of that humor into it. Do you remember that, Head? Did you watch it?
I totally went back and rewatched everything.
Oh wow! I wish I
I
would.
made a list of notes. You ready for them?
Go.
Makes me want to go backpacking. As soon as those motherfuckers got off that fucking sheep fucking bus
I thought
in
the
the
same
fucking
thing.
backcountry, and it was fucking all foggy in the background, fucking green meadows everywhere, and they had their fucking backpacks on.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
awesome. All of a sudden I was like, man,
Super cool.
I've always wanted to do something fucking weird and just go fucking walking somewhere weird. And I was like, I might turn into a homeless person.
Do you see where Eli from that did Hostel? Do you see where that kind of those pieces came from?
Yeah,
Right,
no,
like
I
the
didn't ever
whole-
think
I'm
of
just
it,
saying
but
the
now that
whole,
you're
like,
telling me.
I'm saying the whole
the
exploring,
Middle Eastern Americans wandering into
New World, new like boys on a trip kind of thing. I think he definitely got some of that. I mean, is a horror person,
Yeah, of course. I loved the burning candles to ward off monsters quote. Of course, just me being emo. I'm always into that like dark kind of like cute stuff. That shit was cool. Like, oh. Another thing, man. Why didn't they have hoods on their jackets? What in the fuck was when were hoods invented? All those motherfuckers were walking around in the rain. They didn't have hoods. No jacket had a hood on it. That's the
Well-
first thing I wondered. I was like, man, they have no hoods. Their heads are just getting rained on,
Yeah. You know what hoods
I don't know.
equal? You
Maybe
know
it's
what
just something.
hoods
Maybe I'm
equal
looking
in
into
movie-
it too much.
I don't think so, but if you're asking someone from a movie perspective, hoods equal not being able to see the people's faces.
That's
They
right.
probably just they ripped that shit off. They ripped those things off and said, "Get rid of those fucking hoods." You know,
I don't know, man.
But
Might have
that
been
makes
cooler.
sense. You're right. There you go.
Might have been cooler. Might have been darker.
Love it.
Just half their faces were shadows, and all you see is their little fucking mouth jabbling on their fucking walk into town. The fucking nurse was super cute, you know. I love how the doctor is like super rude to the nurses. It's definitely like it set
Yep.
the time of the
Yep.
timepiece of the movie. You know, it's like, man, he's super rude. That would not go today. You would
Yep,
be
the
canceled,
dominant role.
motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. The one thing that was a little weird, like, you know, obviously people have fucking seen this movie. If not, fucking too bad. Fucking motherfuckers made like 40 years
It's
ago. When Jack dies, you know, I thought he looked really fucking cool the first time he came back with all like the fresh open wound sores.
Scary. Yeah.
And then
Pet
it
Sematary
seemed
style,
like
yeah.
almost like the next time he saw him, he was like almost
joke.
too green.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
know, like, all right, I get it. You're making him look more dead, but like you almost kind of went a little too far. It's like you could have maybe done a little in between if we're picking shit
Yeah.
apart.
Too fast.
Yeah, you decompose too fast in the afterlife. I know how fast things happen over there. But
No,
I don't know.
I agree.
And then that last scene,
there
man,
was
it
there was no continuity, I don't think, back there. Then think about it too, like I don't think there was a lot of things where you sat down and watched like the dailies, like, hey, let's look at what we shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the continuity just was always fucked up in all these movies, right? Like
Right.
one guy had a green hat on, and then it cut to the next shot, he has a red hat. You know what I mean? Like, right, Tony? Like I don't think people even thought about that shit back then.
Not
That
as
was
much.
before
no.
it was somebody's job. But the last scene, man, it totally reminded me of like a Final Destination. Like so many things happening, you know? It's like
car
the car
crashes, yeah.
They blast him through
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah.
The one person
Everybody
flies
was
out the
getting
window and hits
smashed.
a person. You know, the
It was
person's
awesome.
head falls off.
I didn't expect that. When me and my girl were watching it, was definitely, we kept looking at each other going, what the, everybody's fucking dying here. This is awesome.
I mean, it's a horror movie. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
it
It's a
was
straight
rad,
up like,
man.
how about we just like thrash at the end? We have no like Jason
Right,
that's going
let's go
around
for
thrashing, so we're just gonna thrash. You know?
You know, a
Man,
main
it's-
part of the movie, how about the super awkward sex scenes?
Yeah, those are the when we needed sex scenes in movies, you know, and you're like, why did we need these, right? Like, you know when they'd cut back and you have like the sheets are just moving in the shadows and all that
Yeah.
bullshit back there. I agree with you, Tony. That was so ridiculous, right?
It was awkward.
That was
I'll be
because
honest,
that was
I
because
masturbated during both of the sex scenes. I saw a lot
during-
of that side tit action, and then the werewolf came, and then I was like, oh, I'm fucking ready to go.
he masturbated to the transformation scene. Is what you're saying? Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, oh, look at the hairs protruding. Oh.
I think back then too, like sex was still a part of like movies of why people went to see movies because you
Right.
couldn't see it anywhere else, right? So like it was so cliche and so just ridiculously smothered. Like you'd have to go there, right? Like a man would have to go there to like catch a side tit, right, Tony? Like right, to just get a glimpse, right?
And I think it was pretty much expected in horror movies back in the day.
Yeah,
There had to be at least
yes,
a side boob or a titty or a nipple or something has to be shown. Otherwise, it's not a real horror movie, you know?
Did I ever tell you, Head, when I went to go see, it was when I was at Arcadia High School, and this friend I had, I was over at his house, and his older sister comes over to take care of us, right? The parents leave. Probably, I don't think Mom even knew that, but the parents run off. The older sister comes over, and she's like, let's go to the drive-in. The new Jason movie's out, right? And we're like, well, hell yeah. It's better than sitting here, right? And I think she even invited like
Is
a
she
friend
cute?
over, right? You know,
Is
she
she
was
cute?
cute, right? She was the nurse. Yeah, I was gonna
Or-
say she was cute.
Or at
and then
least she's
it was
just
like the
older
nurse.
and a girl.
Dude, it was, hey, let's go with two girls to the drive-in versus sitting at home, I don't even watching, Red Hot Chili Pepper videos, right? So we went out to the drive-in theater, and of course, like the Jason movie, of course, like you said, Tony, there's that part, right? Here it comes, and then there's the titty flash, right? And of course the sister's like, there it is, of course, right? She was kind of like a little bit on the, just, hey, I'm a woman, I'm not gonna be, to that part, and then she was like, there it is. And so yeah, that's funny that every movie had to have that cheesy flashing scene. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but it was definitely during that era.
I look forward to those scenes. I've even watched like crappy ass horror movies just because there was nice titties in it.
It's like I think we all have.
Oh yeah.
Tots
my girl was making me watch some. I think it was a Spanish vampire movie the other day. It wasn't even in fucking English. I didn't know what the hell they were saying. But there was titties all over the place, and I was like, "This is great. What a great movie. This is awesome."
What is it
the
called?
Subtitles said titties.
I don't even know if I can tell you. Man. I'd have to ask Tots.
Vampa titties.
It was a series. It was a TV
titties.
series of some sort, and it was Spanish vampires. Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm in. Tots, let us know. So Paul, I don't know if Tony did, but I watched that fucking 237 room 237.
We didn't like it.
You did?
Tell me about it, Head.
I actually didn't care for it a whole lot. I thought it was interesting at first.
Uh-oh.
I fell asleep at the end and had to rewatch the end part.
It is a little slow. It is a little slow.
I don't know. I think, how much time do you really got on your fucking hands to sit there and think that the file looks like a boner? And
right?
they're showing it on the TV, and I still don't fucking see it. So I'm trying to find the boner here. I'm trying to find the face in the clouds here, and I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
So I did see the
Heather.
actual boner. The cloud thing, as they were showing it, I didn't see the fucking face in the fucking
Not
clouds at all.
They could have paused it
and
and circled it or something for us, but no, they didn't.
There were certain things though. You know what I mean? The one thing I want to talk about is the carpet. Now, at first, when they started talking about the carpet,
Okay.
they started saying like, "Oh, this means this and this means that," and if you notice, it's going this way and this way. And I was like, that is probably somebody that's just trying to get a good shot. I go, for sure. You know what I mean? For sure. It's just a happenstance. But when they showed the fucking ball roll up to the kid in the courtyard and then him stand up with the space shirt on, that is when, of course, somebody like myself that's into the fucking space launches and somebody that believes that fucking space shuttle fucking first video looks like fucking hokey pokey. It all of a sudden you get somebody like myself thinking about stuff. Now, what I want to say about that statement that I just said, basically you're saying that you have a very, very small percentage of fucking dumb people out there. You know what I mean? That are like, oh my God, maybe this is true, So, the one thing that I think is weird would, is the carpet thing, man. It's just so awkward. I get at first they started talking about the different directions of the carpet scenes, and I do think that, like, that could have been an accident. But when they started showing, the relevance with the space shuttle stuff with the direction of the carpet when the ball was rolling up to the kid, it definitely seemed like it was on purpose. And then, of course, when you start thinking about the guy having the IQ, the high IQ and making a movie that's inspirational, you got to start thinking that, there is something maybe to it, and of course somebody like me that's into the space stuff, you have a little boy.
I thought you'd like this. Yeah.
You have a little boy dressed up in that cool space shuttle sweater from the 60s or whatever, standing in a weird, creepy hotel room when he sees blood fucking flowing out of elevator rooms.
Yeah.
It's like, you got me for sure. But when I watched the movie, I'll be honest, that was probably like the one thing that I was like, all right, that kid's sweater was cool. Like, I don't know.
Okay, so
I guess I'd almost say, like, I might have liked the documentary better than the actual fucking movie. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is that sad to say?
So I'll come at this with this way, and I'll start it off with this piece, is that you've got to understand, like, as a filmmaker, Kubrick is kind of your whatever, your Lennon, your McCartney, the Beatles, whatever you put as the top, whatever it would be. You know, like one point perspective is that shot you see in everything where the leading lines lead down to a point to the very end, like the hallway when the kid's going down and he's riding his bike, when they go through the maze and they're running. That is a composition thing that people today mimic over and over and over in everything you guys watch, you know. So this is kind of like a foundation of movie making, but at the same time, I'm going to completely disagree with you. There's not one thing in that movie that's a mistake. Everything.
That's what I kept on saying
everything
before.
is
We're
on
definitely
purpose,
saying
you
that he's
think?
very particular. He definitely set those things up in those ways for certain reasons.
Yes. When you have a shot and there's a chair missing in the background, that's called continuity, meaning like there's somebody on set that makes sure the continuity looks the same from shot to shot. This guy,
Paul, can I ask you a
not in a
question?
million
Even back
years,
then,
would never. Oh yes, and when this
That was
guy
always
is
a
the
thing?
continuity, I guess what I'm saying is his brain only thought in continuity. He didn't know anything else. He didn't know how to not do something perfect, and so to have a chair missing back there, you're seeing it because he wanted you to not see it and see it, and to be talked about later. And if you go back, Clockwork Orange, we can go back. We'll examine all this shit. They're not when I tell people to watch these movies, they all have the same reaction. It's the most boring shit I've ever seen, right? I get it from the standpoint of, but he wasn't out to make movies that people liked. He was out to make movies that he liked, and that people would still talk about. Here we are in 2020, and we're talking about it.
See, I actually like the majority of his movies. This documentary was kind of slow and boring for me.
And this, once again, what was this was 6 or 7 different people's perspective on what the movie meant to them.
Right.
Meaning it obviously wasn't his movie, but it was people, and I thought it was a creative way of showing, hey, let's take his clips, use this kind of the B-roll footage, and explain what we want to explain by using his footage with our voices.
Right.
Which I thought was, hey, if you're going to try to explain a legend, right? Like, how do you do that? You know, and so I thought that was interesting. I wasn't all into all of it. I agree with you guys. Some of it was slow, but for instance, one thing I want to point out is like the transitions where you would do a cross dissolve where you put 2 clips together.
Yeah, those were cool.
And they would create images that once again, it's not a mistake. Those are not mistakes when he picks up the Playboy or the Playgirl.
Right, the Playgirl, yeah.
That shit, you
the
really
fact that
think
he
head
even
there
has
just
a
happened to be a
Playgirl
Playgirl?
is weird.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think a Playgirl just happened to be in the set and they're like, hey, let's put that in there? He fucking ordered that.
Yeah, it's all on
They're like,
purpose.
and even to this day, I don't know if you guys know that was a real hotel in Oregon of where that was filmed. And then they put it up there, and still to this day, they had to
Crazy.
change the room number to 217. There is no 237 in there. People wouldn't stay in the room because of the number. You know, and so what I'm saying is, I think if Kubrick knew that would make his day. That's why he made it, Head, the way you're talking about it, is because I think that's what he loved about filmmaking, and that's what inspires me to do the job I do every day. That's, you know, that's what I think's cool about it.
But they said he had a super high IQ, right?
Yeah. Almost like where he was abnormal. He was very on the spectrum, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it takes somebody like that to make those kind of movies. But, like, I don't know. It's like the 2001 Space Odyssey was really cool. You know what I mean? Sure.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Once again, it's kind of a little bit slow and very metaphoric, but still, like, still slow and not a lot to it. I'd say similar to that movie. But, like, I don't know, Clockwork Orange, like, at least there was, like, a little level of, like, creepiness and artiness to it with their costumes and with the beating people and the raping of the girls. I don't know.
I did like The Shining. I thought The Shining was a good movie.
Yeah, and I like the idea, Head. Once again, what I thought you would like about it is that he just told Stephen King to fuck you. That's Stephen King's story. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is another thing about this guy. Once again, is like, you know, listen, he could have just done he could have made $1 bazillion, right? But he's like, fuck you, Stephen King. This is how I'm going to do it. And we can go through frame by frame. I can analyze that movie and tell you like why people are standing where they are, or why are they, there's just some crazy blocking and,
You think you would have made more money if you would have just made it more like normal? You think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Would have been a bigger
made
hit.
It like, yes. Yeah. I mean, I think people, once again, I think that's what's cool about art, right? Is like if you do what you are true to yourself, right? You're almost more acceptable, right? And you're almost more accepted, and you might have even have more
accept. Know you're gonna do that.
Well, I guess more just. I guess more like, some like tattoo artists where you show me their shit and I'm like, wow, this is like nothing that anybody else is doing. And then at the same time you could say, well, they could just do fucking peace signs and probably make a killing, right? But at the same time, don't people go to them because of, right, that they're true to themselves? I think that's what's cool with art, You know me.
For sure. You get paid for being special, for sure.
Yeah, right? I mean, and you should, right? I mean, you should, right? You should be
Yeah.
able to, So at the end of the day, that's what I thought was cool. But yeah, the space thing, so obviously, like, he was the one that supposedly made the moon landing video that you say is real, or that you say is maybe real, or whatever,
That maybe real. I'd say it's very likely silly looking,
Yeah, it is very silly looking, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. I don't fucking know. But does it look weird? Yeah, a little bit, When the hoaxsters put stuff out there and they have the fucking video up next to it and they're talking over it, I'd be falling for it. Cause
it's
I'm
convincing,
dumb.
man. It's convincing, yeah.
Isn't it cool, though, how he was the one that kind of led the tech side of doing that rear projection shit, right? Because did you know that's how they make the Mandalorian show now? They're getting rid of the green screens. Remember how they have to put the green screen up? Mm-hmm. They're now, dude, see the 3D environment. They now can just portray a 3D image on the background, and that's what you're seeing in the background of the Mandalorian. There's no green screen anymore, so the actors can actually look back there and feel like they're in Tatooine or whatever fucking planet they're in. And so that's kind of that tech thing. Even back then, dude, he kind of led that as like that rear projection for the monkey scene or whatever else he was shooting, and that's where the moon stuff comes in that you're talking about. That's how they supposedly did the moon landing.
And they show those fucking lights in the background. In the fucking moon landing videos, in the fucking documentary about the room 237. That I honestly, I was more probably intrigued in all of that shit than anything else.
I knew you.
I got sucked
you
into
like
that
it,
and the kid in the fucking the shuttle sweater. That shit was cool, Like
I knew you.
I got
some
sucked into
parts
the
of it,
wrong parts of the documentary, and that's why I think it's cool. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's like I don't know. There's I don't know. It's
fell
weird. I
asleep
don't
fucking
doubt
3 times
anything.
during
I don't
that
fucking
documentary.
I know, Tony. I had to watch it a few times too. I didn't say it was like Avengers or anything, But
there were some
it's
interesting points for sure.
You gotta understand, I'm pretty nerdy and artsy when it comes to like filmmaking and shit. I'll make you watch a lot of that stuff,
You can dig it.
Man, those
But I'll give you
reviews that
American Werewolf in London.
Those reviews that people were saying were like, how dare people just make random assumptions about something? They're playing movies backwards and forwards and talking about it for 30 minutes like it means something. They're like, this means nothing. I don't know. It was funny that it's
That's
like
all I do.
1 star, 1 star, and 2 stars was the top. It was the only 3 reviews shown on Apple on my TV.
I know.
And,
I know. It's a film.
I was like, here we go. I gotta rent this motherfucker. Here we go.
It's a filmmaker's dream though. Like when you go through and you look at it. I mean, dude, how about the fact that you think it's a mistake that he walks through that hotel and like there's no windows where those rooms are? You don't think you're supposed to notice that?
I don't think I noticed that there was no windows in the room, so he was walking.
Meaning the way they laid it out. Meaning the way they laid it out, it'd be like if you walked through your house and you had the floor plan, they show you it already once. Is what I'm saying, and then you have to be a really smart person to catch it again. Where the way he walks in, it backs to a wall where there's no way there could be a window right there where he meets that guy where the dick's at. And so what I'm saying is, he does that on purpose, and that's why he makes you take that journey with that kid, Ed. He's almost giving you a tour of the hotel, So later on, you'll say, that didn't make sense, how that person walked this way, and there's no window. That's how much of a genius he was.
So pretty much it's a documentary for filmmakers.
Good call,
so it's
Tony.
made
Good
for
call,
the
buddy.
one percenters like
You're right.
you. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
No,
I'm a nerd.
I don't
I'm a
know.
film nerd.
I mean, it's definitely super cool. You know what I mean? I like
Yeah,
that stuff,
yeah.
Paul. You know, I'll be honest. I like it, but
I
think
just mean
only
as
like
an
it.
I think like as an artist, right? Like I can respect the idea of like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he was so smart. He was so fucking bored with filming and that shit that those are the things he did to make it interesting. That's how crazy. That's what I mean. It's almost like a Van Gogh, and you're like, draw me, right? Like, draw this likeness, right, of like a famous artist, right? And then they just fuck around and make something awesome that doesn't even look like you because they're like, that's not challenging enough. And that's why I think his movies were.
He should have just went and got a job at a grocery store in a high school.
You're probably right. You're probably right. You're probably right.
No, I mean,
But,
it's definitely cool that he's that smart, and if all that stuff is specifically planned out, that is really neat. And it's very weird that if it wasn't planned out, that people could look into it that much. I don't know.
Well, there's just that times every one of his movies. So yeah, eventually, like you said, it can't be a coincidence after there's 100 different people looking at all this. Like you said, Tony, like filmmakers study this. Right. You got to say to a certain extent, like, well, what are they studying? Right. There's got to be something going on here. So, well, I appreciate you guys watching it. I'm sorry it was a bore, but
bunch of people
I thought it was interesting. It was interesting.
Bunch of people wasting their time is what they're studying.
I mean, Tony, it was no cuties. You know what I mean? Like,
No titties,
on
man. There
Netflix.
was no titties.
Hey,
I said cuties.
So Paul, we never really hit back on the cuties. You know what I mean? Nobody really.
Do we got to go
really
back
heard
to
anything about that? What do you think about the whole cuties thing? I don't think we ever talked about it. I don't think any of that was ever
what do you mean
released.
about?
I think that got sabotage.
We did a cuties episode, and I didn't even think of it. Can someone tell me what Two Bears, One Cave live event is?
Oh, yeah. Two Bears, One Cave. You've heard the Two Bears, One Cave podcast, right?
No.
Bert,
don't know what it is.
No?
Oh, that's
Kreischer.
the, what's his name? The Bert. Yeah, okay.
Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura. Man,
I didn't know it was them two.
Yeah, it's the guy you like, Tom Segura, and then it's the guy I like, fucking
like
Bert
him.
Kreischer. They have a whole podcast together. It's called Two Bears, One Cave. And they had their, like, live broadcast. You had to buy a ticket, everything was live. They were like, partying, eating edibles, and, they had little snippets of when they, they went to a dominatrix and she tied them up and whipped them and tormented, pinched their fucking nipples and shit, and they were both in their little undies. Bert Kreischer had his little, like, leather Speedo on, you know what I mean? Just so fucking good. But I was gonna say, like, I've been talking about having, like, my porn star, girlfriend on or whatever, that I know from the past. They're like, we're gonna have a porn star on, blah blah blah, after the break, or coming up later on in the episode. And I was like, man, they fucking stole my idea. Comes out, it's a guy porn star. It's like this, it's this guy porn star that Bert Kreischer loves, And the guy he was so excited to talk to him. At the end, he's like, I gotta ask one question. Can we see your dong, please? And he makes the guy stand up and show his wiener. Fucking big old fucking wang. This online fucking podcast was the craziest fucking thing I ever seen. I don't know where you could see it now. I don't know if you could go back and pay for it. It was a couple weeks ago. But man, super, super enjoyable. Fucking good stuff. I think if we do things live, I think we can do whatever we want. Is more or less, I think, the way it works. And we can say whatever we want. So it just gave me the idea of, like, could we maybe do something live? do like a live
It's nowhere
event.
not allowed.
I don't know. We could eat some drugs. We could do something crazy.
Tony, have you ever? Tony, do you listen to that Rogan and that Bert and Tom and all them together? Yeah. Those
I'm a
guys.
Rogan fan. That guy cracks me up. I like most of the guests he has on. He has smart people.
I
on
like
there sometimes.
I like those friends I think more than I do Rogan. So yeah, I think Head and I are on the same page. But I haven't watched this Bear in the Cave or seen the
Me
podcast.
neither, no.
Is it a live stream header? Can I watch the video of it?
Just that one live episode was the only one that was live.
And that's all they've ever done? They haven't
just,
done any other podcasts?
The rest of them are just podcasts. There's 45
Okay.
of them. They're up on YouTube with video. Yeah, you can watch them goof around. It's good. It's super good. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is.
I can't hear him again. Do you?
I heard him. Yeah, I heard both.
Oh,
of you guys
I
right now.
couldn't hear him. Sorry. I got that.
No,
got that
he
weird
did
thing
block
going
out for
again.
a second there, but I can hear him again. Now.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything's clearing up again. I think it might
There we
just
go.
be the service or something.
I think so.
We should probably try to wrap it up somehow. I kept talking through the end of that, so if I'm recording my line, it'll sound perfect and it'll just trail out.
Let's just do that, and then we'll just trail out, and I can just cut it from there. That's fine.
How are we going to end this motherfucker?
End it out however you want. Pick it up.
Here it comes again.
How about we end it out with Keith? Yeah, here it comes again.
With Keith what? I thought we already talked about it.
I don't know. End it out with something we started with then. I don't care. Whatever. Bring it back around and tell us a joke.
What?
No, bring it back
can
around
get
and
into
tell
it
us
if
a
you
joke.
want.
I don't want to get into it. Bring it back around and tell us a joke, I thought, maybe, to end us out.
You want me to come with a random joke all of a sudden? Hey, tell me a joke.
This right here is funny by itself. We could just end with this or start with it. This is funny by itself.
Let's take some more drinks.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right, you want to take a shot?
Let's grab our beverages.
Let me go fill mine up.
Go get it, Tony.
So I got
We'll
a
wait
beer.
for
First
you.
doing beers, I got it, Doug.
I'm doing beers.
You're a pussy.
Heather's got a fucking cup full of fucking hard liquor with a lemon in it.
I know.
Can you see it?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna go take a shot of tequila after I'm done with this. You guys
It's just-
got it all in the-
Oh, little hornitos. Yeah, we'll have to pick some more movies or some stuff to watch this week.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's been fun.
I'm glad you liked the werewolf. That's a good one. Yeah.
Werewolf was definitely a good one. You know the other one you were talking about, one of his later movies. What was the space one?
2001.
2001.
Yeah. I've never
We could
seen
do
that.
that.
You should
man.
watch
That's
that no
another
matter
one
what,
that I
man.
Is that a good one?
Doug, don't watch it after work. Watch it watch it when the sun starts going down.
you're asking
so
the
2
wrong-
hours later it'll be still kind of getting dark. Don't not after a long day, dog. You'll fall asleep for sure. I know Tony.
Right?
Tony falls asleep during a lot of stuff.
Did I say? I didn't say that. You said to go watch it. I said you're asking the wrong person. Is what I said. I know the
Tony
answer.
falls
I agree,
asleep
Tony.
watching
It's slow, dude.
rock climbing
shit-
videos
yeah,
when they're
yeah.
hanging by a
Yeah.
fingertip. He's like,
You know what? You know
come
what,
on.
Tony? Dude, for next week, Header, let's do Into the Wild because I'll talk about that fucking movie all night long. It is so good.
Okay.
That's great.
Tony, have you
Tony,
seen
you'll
it?
love it.
I have not.
You
What is
seen
on?
it?
Oh man, you gotta watch that for sure. It's a really
Oh,
good
it's
movie.
so good.
Um,
Sean Penn directs it. Eddie Vedder does the music. What's his name? Emil Hirsch or whatever. He's fucking awesome, right, Head?
It's a kid that
So
wanders
awesome that you
off.
remember his name, huh?
Paul knows a lot of people's names. He's like,
Dude, Emil Hirsch.
They
Emil
know
Hirsch.
people's names.
Look it up. I'm drunk as shit, and Emil Hirsch is his name.
You are deliberately forgetting who you really are.